Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So here we are again, that time of month where we channel those in the know to find out what is going on, what should we know, and please, ma'am, make it make sense. Everything that we're going through right now. What the hell, world? What the hell? And so here we are again today to dig into that and see what we can know and should know there. So, about to dive in. I've got Penelope here in her red and purple trying to match me being lazy in my favorite t-shirt that I feel like I wear in way too many videos because it's my comfort place. And so, yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and on my end pull up the channeled message right now to read off to everyone. And of course, as usual, if you feel like what you hear right here, what you hear here is helpful, then we always do a second message on the Perk Squad. And so Perk Squad members, second message coming at you. So for anybody interested in a second message, of course, the blue join button below and the link in the description box can take you there. Lots of different perks to the Perk Squad, one of which being video shout outs. So shout out to you, Angel Mary, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Shout out to you, Angel Mary. Thank you for being here. Alrighty, y'all. And what a perfect name, Angel Mary, as we're about to dig into our messages from light beings here. So here's the one that we got for all of us this time. It says, all, we are happy once again to bring a message to you here today. The message we would like to share with you today is one of describing the path forward. There is so much happening in your world right now, much of which you can see and much of which most of you still cannot see. There are many in power who seek to pursue their agendas and are labeling them as something else. There are many who are not in power who will stop at nothing to gain it. And dear ones, there are many who are lost in the middle, trying to discern who to believe and who is a wolf in sheep's clothing. These are challenging times indeed. We often present to you messages of hope, and we maintain that you must continue to hold on to hope, faith, compassion for your fellow beings. At the same time, we urge you to not simply accept everything as it is presented at face value. This does not mean to become paranoid, bitter, and distrustful. No. It simply means that in all things, before subscribing to the information and beliefs delivered to you, please first vet it through your own intuition, your own manner of discernment. For it is your internal guidance system, your internal compass, which you have calibrated more than you know. It is okay to trust yourself. It is okay to feel what you feel. It is okay to have questions, seek answers, and ask that others keep an equally open mind for such. As you remain open, tuning into your internal guidance, you will find it easier to hear and sense us as we help you along your journey. Your receptivity paves the path forward for you. So please remain open, remain curious, and allow us to assist you in all the ways you ask for our help. We love you so very much, your spirit guides. So, got that message from the spirit guides. And as I was kind of, rereading what flowed through there, there were a couple points where I was like, okay. I like that they're talking about vetting things through our internal guidance system, because like even as I do tarot readings here and bring information to you and stuff like that, there's people that'll type comments and be like, I don't know, maybe when you said this message, I thought this, or it made me feel this way, or I'm still curious about this angle. I don't know if I even agree with what you got with this or whatever. And people share things and don't necessarily just take what I say exactly as is. And I think that that's fine and healthy. I think that it's okay if we, as they said, ask questions, seek answers. How did they put that? Yeah, and ask that others keep an equally open mind for such. I think that that's fair and healthy. And a lot of people get either offended by that, or their egos get freaked out by that. But I like that they spoke to that here. It was interesting too at the beginning. Where was that part at the beginning that I was like, oh, what is this? When they were saying that there's things that we can and cannot see of what's going on in our world, and that there's a lot of people in power pursuing their agendas, but labeling that as something else. And then there's a lot of people who are not in power that would stop at nothing to get there. I thought that was incredibly interesting, because so often people are only looking at, oh, those in power, they're doing this or that or whatever. But then what about the people that don't really have the power, that are trying to stop at nothing to get it? That to me sounds equally as dangerous, just in a different way. And so when they were saying there's things that we can see and cannot see, I was like, is that one of the things that maybe we're kind of being blind to, or we're not being able to see? Because I think they said, yeah, which most of you still cannot see. I'm going to go ahead and count myself in most of us. If it's most of us, then, odds are I'm likely in the category of most. Maybe they're, I don't want to act like, oh, no, I'm not in most. I of course, I know things. I don't want to act like that. So maybe there's something I'm missing too. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So there's just a lot of interesting parts in this. This is why sometimes I'll just like reread the message over and over, or rewatch the video over and over, or things like that, because a lot of times there's multiple points that I like to pick up on and go over. So what did y'all think? What came up for you? Which parts of this seem to kind of resonate the most with you, or kind of landed a certain way that got you thinking? Always interested in hearing what y'all think, and what y'all like to share on this. As we're sitting here, it is June 28th as I'm filming this right now. So I am well aware that I need to put up some July predictions. I need to channel that, record that, put that up here. I don't even know if that's going to come before or after this video. So I don't know if you're seeing this video get, paused and put up later after the July 2023 predictions, or if you might see this first. And if so, then know that I am aware July 2023 predictions video needs to be filmed, and so that one will be coming. I don't know which one of them will come first, but we'll see. I'm a little scared to look. We've had a couple of months here where it's just like one thing after another, and it's like, holy hell, there's a lot going on. And speaking of a lot going on, let's see, the last video I put up, it's been like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since I've been able to get a video up at the time of filming now. Lots of stuff has been going on. My husband and I were actually able to go visit his family. So as y'all know, he has been living here in the United States for the last 4 4 years now. But previous to those 4 years, he lived his entire life in Mexico. And so he moved here away from all of his family, all of his friends, his country. Everything is 1,400 miles away in a whole nother country. And since trips like that need to have flights, and you have to reserve at least 4 days so that you have time to fly on one day and on another day and have 2 days to see family or something like that. Because of that, that takes a lot of planning time off work, money to be able to do that. So we only usually get to do that once a year right now. Hopefully we could do it more in the future, because who that actually has a good relationship with their family is okay with only seeing them once a year. You want to see them more than that if you have still a good relationship with them like he does. And so it makes me sad that we don't get to see them more, but I'm glad that we were able to this past week. So that's one reason why I haven't been on here. I've still been doing the Perk Squad stuff. So for all of you who are in the Perk Squad, as paying members, obviously I make sure to get what your content out of respect for that. I just can't get spread too thin to do it all. So I apologize for those who have missed a video in the last week. I'm hoping to make it up here with these 2 videos, plus then the 2 for the July predictions coming up. But yeah, it was a nice trip. It was good to see his family. Of course, they live in Mexico. They're Spanish speaking. And so I was right proud of myself that I'm at the point now where when I'm over there, I can pretty much read everything on my own. So signage, menus at a restaurant, stuff like that, I can pretty much read on my own. And even in conversation, as long as they're not like, oh yeah, blah, 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 going like really, really 100 miles a minute out of excitement, as long as they're kind of, slow, moderate rate in speech and stuff like that, I'm like listening real close and catching most of what they say. So like maybe catching 70% of what's coming through, and that other 30% I'm able to pick up on based on the context of the other 70%. And so usually I'm able to understand what they're saying by hearing them. But then when it comes time for me to formulate something to say back, I'm like, okay, reading, easier. Listening, a little bit harder, but I got it. Writing, me coming up with something myself, a little bit harder, but at least I've got time to do it, so I've got it. And, if I need a word or something, I can ask Julio or look it up. But speaking in real time, being able to formulate a sentence faster than like, I love food, something faster than that. Well, I guess for that, me encanta comida, yeah, I can do that one, but anyway, I'm not necessarily great at the talking back in a conversation really well, especially when they're, great, smart conversationalists, wonderful people that get into deep, profound conversations. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that fast. Y'all are better than me. So I have to tell it to Julio and he has to tell it to them. And so I listen to them. I tell him my response. He tells them. And so we got a good triangle motion going on here, for several days in Mexico. So that's fun. For all the people familiar with Mexico that are probably in the comments going to ask, like, oh, where's he from? And this and that. He's from Tamaulipas, northern Mexico, right at the border of Mexico and Texas. And so it's funny, if you were to get on one of the rooftops of the homes there, you could look and see the Whataburger in Texas far off in the distance. So they're close enough to the border that you could see that if you're standing on one of their homes in Mexico. So I thought that was pretty neat. But because of that, being a border town, unfortunately, it's one of those places that you see on the news that they're like, don't travel to these places in red on the map. If the place is in red on the map, it's not safe. And their town is one of those places in red, so it's not a yellow light. It's not a green light. It's not a yellow light. It's a red light on the map, because of it being, one of those cities on the border that unfortunately is got a lot of cartel control and influence and things like that, and a lot of migrants coming from other areas in South America that thought that they could cross the border because they thought that they received messages from U.S. politicians saying that they could, and then they were blocked from being able to, and so now they're hanging out in the town, sleeping on park benches and stuff like that. What are you going to do? You're going to pickpocket or stuff like that to be able to kind of survive out there. And so it's not the safest place. But it's still nice to be there with his family, and them being locals kind of cushions that a little bit when we're there. Because the locals that are originally from there, they're great people, they didn't want the town to go through some hard stuff, and he says things like that all the time, like, oh, I remember when I was younger and things were, not too bad, and, it got kind of worse over the years, and it makes him bummed out about that. And so it's complicated, but anywho, that's a little bit about my trip. If I can, let me write myself a note, my handy dandy sticky note on the B-roll of these videos for anybody that stays listening, stays watching, because you actually care about me prattling on here at the end. I will look and see if I recorded any videos on my phone while we were out there to put as the B-roll on this, because I may not have. I don't remember recording a lot, but I think I recorded his sister's little puppies. Just like normal B-rolls, right? It's usually my puppy shenanigans here and stuff like that. And his sister has 2 little Shih Tzus that are smaller than Teddy, and 2 little girls. One of them is a mom, and the other one is the daughter, Kiara and Kiwi. And I probably have some videos of them because I'm a sucker for taking videos of little dogs, We can tell. I like doing that, so I probably have some of that I could share. That's cute, and we'll see what I've got here. But anywho, yeah, glad that we were able to go and see them, and see some aunts and uncles and cousins too, and got to see his grandma as well. She's not very responsive right now with some of the things she's been struggling with medically, but she is still with us, and she is 93 years old. So it's wonderful that we got to go visit her over there as well. And yeah, that's where I've been. And I told him, I said, well, one good thing about you being a UPS driver is whenever you take off work, you take off work, then when you come back, you just come back with a new delivery. It's not like they stopped delivering and held all those packages that you need to deliver, and now it's accumulated over those however many days you took off, and now you've got to deliver all those plus what you come back to. I'm like, you don't have to worry about that. I'm like, in my jobs, all the jobs that I work, that's how it works. You're not answering emails for those 4 days. You're not returning phone calls for those 4 days. You're not writing reports for those 4 days. You're not seeing those clients for those 4 days. You're not doing XYZ for those 4 days. Nobody else is doing it for you. So when you come back, you get to do all of that plus where you're starting from now, and I'm like, is that really a vacation? The way we have our society set up like that, is that really fair? Is that really a vacation that you don't really take off work? You just postpone 4 days worth of work so you can get bombarded when you get back. Anybody else like that? I am sure a lot of your jobs function like that. I was like, out of all the things that, is hard about working UPS compared to the desk jobs types of things that I work, that's one perk that they've got that I don't have. So I've just been trying to kind of get my brain back in gear on that. But anywho, glad to be back. Glad to film this. Like I said, second video coming up for Perk Squad members here shortly. And then I will be very soon figuring out the July 2023 predictions. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. And I have a list already of some things, some video topics and ideas that y'all have been requesting so that I can think of what comes next afterwards. We've got lots of good requests here. So here we go. Let's do the B-roll. And don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love you a minute. Bye, love you a minute. Bye, y'all. She's so little.
¿No tienes puertitas tú esas?
You're so little.
Tenía, tenía bastantes, todas las regalé. Ya no nos cambiamos. ¿Y lo ponemos así?
Para que quede con tu puerta bien.
Double eye licks. And now they switched to the other eye. So now they're giving double eye licks on the other eye. First it's double eye licks one, and now double eye licks the other. They've done this before. This is practiced. They're being too Siamese about this. This is practiced. Oh my gosh, double eye licks. Silly girls. Kitty, you're so small. You're so small. Look at that tiny little bird. Look at y'all getting on your blankie. But you're so small. You're so small. Look at you next to my foot. Look at you next to my foot. You're so small. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm trying to zoom in. There we go. Yeah. Goodness gracious. What a mess. She's like, hey, come back and do more. Yeah. Okay. What a mess. Kiwi, get out of there. Okay. Oh, you stretch. You stretch. Of course she's gonna follow you if you're gonna take out your contacts. And here's a couple pictures for you. I wasn't planning on making a vlog or anything, so I didn't have anything formal here to present to you, but hope you enjoy these, and love you, mean it.